Hello everybody, welcome to my videos. I'm Miss.Flag, and you may be really surprised that I'm going to do this video in English, but yes, I'm going to do this one in English because later on we will have a guest. I will do some interview with him and to talk about his journeys on starting his own business. Other than this, I will also relate my interview with the book that I was mentioned last time for my last challenge, which is finish one book in a week, right? And right now it's only Friday, but I have done the book, yeah! So I keep my flag this time. And now we're just waiting for Mr. Brian to show up, and then we can start our interview. So hello everyone, so this is Mr. Brian Gurek, which is the one that I was mentioned before. And now we have a couple of questions that we are going to discuss together, and which probably will give you more ideas about how to own a successful business. Now, Mr. Brian, could you please just take a little bit time to discuss about how you started Alliance and take it to succeed?
Well, I first started off in the envelope industry, and my prefix to that is I went to University of Toronto. I got a business and commerce degree, so I had accounting. Never applied the accounting, but I was always interested when I started in the envelope profession to say, how would it be if I opened up a company? Mm-hmm. And opening up a company, you know, there's a lot of things that you need to know. And one is you have to feel comfortable that you are confident enough to go out there and secure work. Mm-hmm. You got to be comfortable enough to go out there and make sure that people will supply you raw materials, and you got to be comfortable enough to deal with the employees that you employ. And part of it is I named Alliance for one reason, you know, and the reason was I thought to be successful, you have to work with your employees, you have to work with your suppliers, and in that triangle, you know, if you are successful with your employees and you're successful with your suppliers, the best thing that happens is you're going to be successful with your customers. And customers will see that in the work that you provide and the work that they received from the people that you employ.
Okay.
So Alliance was something that I was in the envelope industry for about 10 years, 8-9 years. I tried everything. I did estimating, costing. I was in marketing. I named Innova, which is the first go-round of Supremex, which is the largest in Canada, in a marketing role. After that, I spent a lot of time in managing people, which is sales management as well as production management. Worked with specialty products, things that weren't necessarily envelopes, but you know, were pretty close to being similar out there in the marketplace. And then somebody approached me and said, Brian, you want to start an envelope company? And I said, why not? And at that time I was probably early 30s and had 2 young kids, you know, just bought a house, and I quit a very good paying job and started. And at first it was intimidating, but it also, you're motivated because you have a mortgage. You have people that you're responsible and accountable for. And as you go along through life, you know, you realize that one of the things in life is challenges are interesting. And you develop yourself as a person, and you develop people around you. And one of my greatest strengths and one of my greatest joys is watching other people succeed. When other people succeed, it was by design. Someone told me that I want to create a win for create a win for your associates, the people that you work with. I go, what do you mean create a win? You know, I want them to be successful. We want to be successful. What about me? You know, I would say, no, you know, and one of them was Stuart Emerson, which runs
Supremex
right now. You know, Charlie McLean says, I got to create a win for Stuart, I got to create a win for Tim. And I'm, selfishly you're saying, what about me? What about me? But he was right. Everybody should be involved. Everybody should be part of the process. It's better to be on the field playing the game than in the stands watching. So I ventured out, quit a very good paying job, and I enjoyed the 10 years, but I did learn something. The biggest thing I learned out of that, the efforts of 10 are better than one person trying to do 10 things.
Yeah. Yes, you are right. It's nice to see people grow, and when you are working the journey with them, and what you can do is if you pay them or just teach them to work, that is probably not the bad thing that you can do for them. And the bad thing that you want to do for them is to let them know how to learn and how to improve themselves, which is good. And remember that I told you a couple of days ago I started with a book. It's called The One Things.
Yeah,
and there are a couple of the things which is really attractive to me, and I also want you to share a couple of the things that I learned from here. And one of the chapters, it says like, if you have an accountability partner, that will be really helpful for your business journey. Do you agree with it, and why?
Well, I have to say, everything you do in life is a journey.
Yeah.
And if you can partner up with somebody, it makes the journey less stressful.
Yeah.
And you can share the load. I think the greatest journey I have ever taken was the union with my wife and her strengths, and I recognized at a very, very early stage of our marriage that her strengths were my weaknesses, and vice versa. My strengths were her weaknesses, and together we made a great team. We did have some issues at the front end, but I learned things. One of the things my wife said: never go to bed mad, never go to bed angry. Always deal with anything that bothers you, which was not in my DNA. I always, just turn around, walk away. But she forced me to be better at those things. So yes, partnering up with somebody on the journey is incredible. And as you grow, they're growing. So as I said a little bit earlier, it's a win-win situation. Right now in our journey, she's more like me and I'm more like her. So that evolution, I think it was a win-win situation. Anytime you can foster a win-win situation, both parties feel that they are on top, and you don't want to have a win-lose situation. You find a lot of marriages breaking up, or partnerships or companies breaking up because one person is stronger than the other one and doesn't allow the other person to succeed or win.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said before, this winning mentality is probably the foundations of companies, of marriages, of relationships, of friendships. So I find that it is key.
Is it key
to success.
to success? Good. People saying that if a person don't know how to say no, that person won't get succeed, because when you are focusing on one thing, there will be something came from another way to disturb you and to try to shift your focus from what you are actually doing. And maybe for you, maybe some other business opportunities, or maybe something else. And is there any strategy for you to say no to people, like when you actually really need to focus on what you have to do?
The strategy is not to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Is to try to take their situation and make a positive out of it. Like if somebody asks you to do something, or asks you, should I do this? And well, you rephrase it. What would you do? Like right now, I'm focused on getting this done. So what's your focus?
Getting it done.
if I tell you, like one of the greatest examples I see in the envelope industry is somebody manufactures something wrong for an 8-hour shift. So you bring them into and have a little conversation with the person, and they will say, "Oh, I screwed up. I didn't do it." Start beating up on themselves. And I said, "No, you didn't. You made a decision. And the decision is not what I would have made, but you made a decision, and I got to respect that. Do it again, I got an issue." So back to your question about, saying no. What you try to do is rephrase the no in a sense that you feel that you're giving them guidance so that they can do what they're looking to do. You can't be distracted from your day-to-day or your focus or what your mission is, but you can also take that position and put it back on the person that's asking the question. It's not saying no, it's more of saying, why can't you do it? And empower those persons and people to do it. It's not to say that I don't want to do it. Something more pressing is in front of me.
I hope you enjoyed the video that I took with Mr. Brian, and let me release my next challenge, which is to learn dance from an adult group in 1 week. As you may think that is something really familiar, which is correct because I did make this flag before, but I didn't make it. I hope this time I can make it. Thank you very much, and see you next week. Bye!